from my own understanding, the suspension was informed by the controversy and the crisis generated by the investigations and the outcome of the investigations. Something I heard was that some chairmen of the committees engaged in investigations that was not mandated by the General House, because no committee of the National Assembly, whether Senate or the House of Reps, can embark on investigating any ministry or agency of government without a general resolution of the House to do that. And aside from that, there are also evidence of conflicting interest when it comes to the possibility or the alleged involvement of some members of the panel on the issue that is under investigation.
Yes.
And when you have that conflict of responsibility or interest, you are bound to have a very shoddy job done. So if you can also recall the responses of the Minister of Labor, Senator Cruz Ngige, and that of Rotimi Amechi to some of these committees, and also the controversy that trails the investigation of the NDDC, it's very clear that there are issues the House specifically need to resolve in-house within themselves before coming out publicly to put such agencies on, as it is said, he who comes to equity must come with clean hands.
Yes.
So I believe the leadership of the House of Reps decided in its wisdom to suspend this investigation in order not to tarnish or rubbish the image of the National Assembly. When I say conflicting interest, I mean that there are allegations. If you are investigating contract being awarded in the NDDC, and it is alleged that members of the committee or the leadership of the committee benefited from such contract, you cannot have a fair investigation. And also, when you, the Minister of Transport was raising issues about railways, and he pointedly fingered on the chairman also making a request.
Yes, yes.
So these issues, when they arise, the best thing for the parliament to do is to suspend it because it's public. So they need to suspend the issue, go back to the room, and get their acts right, and then come to the public. Part of the phase 7 measure of the parliament, and if you are in the parliament, you represent your people, there are things you will do that your people will like, but it may be wrong. For example, if recruitment exercise is going on, the police, the army, the navy, or immigration, or any government agency, there will always be pressure from your constituency to give them notes for them to be considered. Well, if you do that, you'll be loved by your people.
Yes.
But the point is that those agencies you are writing to, you are putting them under serious pressure for them to consider requests that other Nigerians are not privileged to have someone to write for them. And if you refuse to write to those agencies, you'll be very unpopular in your constituency. So that is one aspect of it. Second aspect of it is contracts being awarded. It is a fact that many a times you see senators and members of House of Reps are also acting, having proxy companies for themselves. And in that aspect, when you request a government agency to give you contract, and they do that, well, there will be no problem if there is no problem. But when problem comes,
There is a problem.
and such the chairman of those agencies, or the minister, or the DG, or the executive secretary, if he's in trouble and is being investigated for wrong award of contracts, he may like to mention that those who are investigating him were also beneficiaries of such contract. So, and many things, people in the, representatives of the people are being forced by circumstances to engage in it, because some people may have sponsored you, to financially supported you to be there, and they will be expecting some returns from you, and they are contractors or they are businessmen. And after you have won, you are in the office now, they come into your office and they said, please help me, there is a contract being given in social agency or social ministry. I need to go there and help me. If you refuse to help them, you know they will say that you are not a good person.
Yes.
And if you help them also and things go bad, you also answer for it. So most times, if you are in the parliament and you know that you have benefited from contracts, don't show up when investigation on that issue is on. So I believe some of them are wise, and some will think that that may have been forgotten. It may have happened 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Okay, in other clans like the Western culture or Western world, is as a developing nation, Nigeria, is it the same thing applicable? Or how can we learn from such
No,
situations?
it is very difficult for developed democracy for any member of the parliament to get involved in that, because the electorates are even not the same. There was a time we traveled to Germany, and then we visited the office of a senator or member of their parliament. Whoever you see there is there for issues that are of public interest. Either you are there for bills, or you are there for to seek some explanations on certain things happening in the Senate or National Assembly as a whole. But 9 out of 10 people that visit the National Assembly, they go there to collect money. Go there for rent, for tuition fees, for money for food, and for so many things. And the legislatures are put under pressure. When you go to the reception room of a senator or members of House of Reps, out of 20 people you see there, nobody is there for any motion or any bill. The bill he is there for is the one that he will settle the fees of his children and pay his rent and other issues. So you see, with such pressure, and you can't tell your constituents that you are only there to raise motion and make bills and make laws for the country. Because when most people are campaigning to be members of House of Reps or Senate, they don't tell their constituents that I am going for a legislative positions. Now they started making promises of roads, of water, of houses, of money, of so many things. And by the time you are there, you will like to tell your people that the parliament is only about making laws and motion. They will say that is not what you told us when you were campaigning. So it is not possible in the Western world. The money being given to them for allowances, for constituency and everything is enough for them, because their people are not demanding and they have not promised their people what they cannot deliver. But this is the case here. Let me tell you what a legislature, how he make his money. First of all, the salary is there, about 750,000. And you can imagine what 750,000 naira can do to a senator who has 6 cars, wives, children, and whatever. That's one. So that 750,000, he can spend it without any receipt. There is the running cost of office. You see, the running cost comes with receipt for what you have done. Includes travel expenses, newspapers, whatever. All these things here have been written. Okay. So in the running cost, there is no space for you to share money to the public. Everything must be receipted. Okay. But whether that receipt is being given or is being done is another question of the day. I'm not the one to say. The one I've said last time, I've not been. I've not yet freed from it. Which one was that? So I've tried my best, and I hope those who are here will start from where I stopped. The last time I made a disclosure, I lost a lot of friends, and many people were not talking to me but I have no problem with that. So the next one is the constituency funds, which a legislature, they will tell you, if you are Honorable Musa or Emmanuel, they say, Musa, Emmanuel, you have 150 million naira with a government agency. Tell us what you want to be done with this money in your constituency. Then some will say, I want the whole money to be used for empowerment. They say, okay, what? They say, I need tailoring machines, grinding machines, this and that. Yes. Then they buy for the whole amount of money. It's the government that will buy and give you for you to go and share to your people. Okay. Now, some will say that, okay, I have 150 million naira with you, okay, I want to construct either a school or a hospital with it. Okay. Then it's the government that will give contract to what? Now, where this issue, where this comes in is that because of the pressure of people around you, so people find compromises within either the running cost or the constituency funds. And knowing very well that if you don't give people money in your constituency, if you don't solve their problem, you will never be able to go back to your home with your family. You can't even go back to your constituency. And again, like I've said, the promises and pledges made by people aspiring for the legislative position made people to hold them accountable for this. If you want to remove the incumbent from office, you will tell people that there's a lot of money this man is not giving you, and that if I go there, I will make sure that I share money to you. Now, by the time you are there, now telling your people that I am not a governor, and I'm not a president, I'm not a minister, I don't hold an executive position, nobody will listen to you. A recess is not a Nigerian phenomenon, it's a global phenomenon. At a time like this, all the parliaments of the world are shut down, most of them, except for emergency issues where they need to attend to it. Okay. But I think why Nigerians are suspicious of this is the fact that controversy arose after or during the investigation. Yes. And that off the mic has to happen, because if the mic was not off, names will be mentioned and people will be shamed. So I think the suspicion of Nigerians are right, but it is a tradition in the parliament, in the Senate, House of Reps, from history, from US, from every part of the world, that a period of the year like this, the Senate, like the judiciary, they go on recess and return in later part of the year for them to continue. And the recess is to, should not affect the activities of the committee. But in this case, I believe that the House of Reps saw that their reputation is being dragged on the ground, and the speaker need to do something about it. You see, it is difficult for a director of an agency of government to make false allegation against the parliament if there are no elements of truth. But it is also incumbent on him to prove that, because let me tell you how things work. Ministry of Health.
Yes.
If Ministry of Health says they are under investigation and said they have given so to members of the parliament, it's most likely that they have given it to members of the Committee on Health, not everybody in the National Assembly.
Okay.
So it's not possible if you are in a committee on, let's say, transport, for you to say you have benefited. You can only benefit in court from the committee that oversight a certain agency or a ministry. So if the head of the agency raised an allegation that monies were given to members, House of Reps members or senators. So naturally, people who will tell him to mention names are those who have not collected anything.